So focus on one thing at a time. Don't try to fix 5 or 10 things at a time. You're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to quit. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the show, My Funky Brain. Today I want to talk about habits, forming healthy habits or getting rid of old ones, whatever it is that you want to do. Changing habits or forming habits is a big topic nowadays. Successful people always have habits in place that have helped them to get there, and they stay focused on those habits. One thing I talk about a lot is consistency, right? So if you're trying a diet and the diet is working, so you stop doing the diet, it's going to stop working. And then everybody says, I went on that diet, it didn't work, but it did work. You just stopped doing what it took to get you the results that you wanted, and now you think it doesn't work. It's the same thing with these habits, whatever it is, whether it's work habits, healthy living, whatever habits it is that you want to help you achieve a goal. So when you develop these habits and you stick to them, they're going to get you the results that you're looking for. Okay, so there's kind of 3 phases in forming a new habit. But first of all, a lot of people, you've probably heard about this. It takes 21 days, 3 weeks to form a new habit or to break an old one. And that comes from the 50s, where there was this doctor who worked with amputees. And he noticed that it takes about 3 weeks or 21 days for an amputee to get used to not having their limb anymore. Their arm, their leg, whatever it was, it took about 3 weeks. So he kind of applied that across the whole gamut. But it doesn't apply to everybody. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Some people were able to get used to that in like 2 days, and some people it might take a decade to get used to. And it's the same with any other habit that you're trying to form. You have to stick with it, and the results might come right away, or it might take a while to get there. So what I'm finding is that it takes about there's 3 different phases that it takes to get through to develop that habit. And there's the pink cloud phase. And that's where you're like, all right, I'm going to make this change. This is exciting. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to do this diet. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to call on these people. I am going to be more communicative in my relationship. Whatever it is that you want to do, whatever habit you want to form, when you first start, there's like this excitement. You're like into it. You're like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make the changes that it takes to feel better and to do different. And so you get into this little phase and you start telling everybody and everything's great. You feel great. And all of a sudden you get into this second phase, which is called the struggle. Because that first phase doesn't last very long. That pink cloud phase where you're just like, oh, the euphoria, and then you get into the struggle where it's like work. You're like, the pink cloud wore off. The early results that I saw when I was really excited, that's kind of gone. Now it's kind of like work. So I have to struggle through this. I have to trudge through this each day to try to get this new habit that I want, to get the results that I want. And that struggle phase is, it's a tough one to get through. And that's where most people quit. And it can last like 2 days, or it can last, 3 weeks for you to get through that phase, that struggle. And then you start thinking about cheating. So if you take like the diet, for example, if you're like, I'm going on this diet, I'm not going to eat carbs, I'm not going to eat sugars, I'm not going to eat bread, whatever it is that you're not going to want to eat. After a couple days goes by and you're not like as excited about the whole project, and then you're sitting there at night watching TV and you're like, I want a Snickers bar or whatever it is that you like to eat, or chips. Then you're in this struggle phase. The excitement's gone and you're just going to eat that stuff. So you have to develop healthy coping skills to get through those periods of times, whether it's meditation or just a shift of mindset, finding something to substitute for those bad foods or whatever it is that you want to have. And then eventually you're going to get into that comfort zone. So you go from the pink cloud to the struggle and then into the comfort zone where you've actually developed this habit. And again, in terms of diets, I've been on lots of diets, and it could take like a couple of weeks to get used to it, or it could take, just like a lot of things, it could take months to get used to it. If you've been eating, chocolate bars and crap for 30 years, it might take you more than like 3 days to get past that. It's 100 miles into the woods, it's 100 miles back out. You're not just going to be like fixed of whatever problems you think you're going to just because you decided you want to make a change. So it takes a little bit of work. You have to commit to the work in order to get to where you want to be. Does that make sense? So those are kind of the three phases: the pink cloud, the struggle, and the comfort zone. I'm sure that you can relate to all those things. One thing I want to say about the comfort zone is like, don't get too comfortable in the comfort zone. Develop new strategies for staying in that comfort zone so you can continue to make the changes that got you there. So if what worked in the past might not work anymore, you might have to make new changes to keep you in the zone. And so there's 8 tips that I'm going to give you to help you change and develop your habits. Now, again, it's kind of like developing a program that's going to help you like stay in the zone. That's going to help you stay in that pink cloud phase so you feel good all the time, or more so. Because you're never going to feel good all the time. When you accept that, then you're going to be able to get through things a little bit better. But the first one is one habit at a time. Don't try to fix your whole life. You guys know my background. I come from the sobriety thing. So things were messed up. And I see people all the time when they're trying to get sober and change their lives. And they're like, oh, I have to fix my finances, my health, my relationships. Everything needs to be fixed. And it has to be done by Friday because I got shit to do. And it doesn't work that way. You know, again, 100 miles into the woods, 100 miles back out. There's like this long period of reconstruction ahead. I have to rebuild myself, and it takes time. So focus on one thing at a time. Don't try to fix 5 or 10 things at a time. You're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to quit. You still have a long way to go on this journey in life. It's like, just enjoy the ride and you'll be able to get things done better. The next step is to make a start, to begin, to do what it is that you want to do. Stop talking about it or telling people you want to do it. Make a start. Start right now. Don't wait until January 1st or the next full moon or the next harvest moon. Start right now. This is January 1st. Pretend, right? Just make a start. And then if it doesn't work out, start again. See where you went wrong, learn from your mistakes, and then keep moving forward. The next step is to start small. So again, don't go trying to change 5 or 10 things or 20 things all at the same time. You're going to get overwhelmed. But you have to make a start and then start small. Maybe start with the little things. If you're 100 pounds overweight and you're eating 3,000 calories a day and you go from that to doing intermittent fasting and only eating 600 calories a day, you're going to lose your mind. And then you're going to become unsuccessful. You're going to feel like a failure. And then you're going to say, screw it. And I'm just going to go get a bag of chips and some chocolate. So start small. Work your way up into where you want to be. Don't try to do everything at once. It doesn't work that way. It took 30 years to get you where you are. It's going to take some time to help fix that. So start small. Okay? The next thing, be consistent. Stay on track with your goals. Okay? And if you miss a day, it's okay. But be consistent as possible. Try to set times for yourself every day where you're going to do reminders or do things that are going to help you get through this hard point, that struggle period of forming your new habit. Okay. And when you do that, you're going to become more successful, because even if you have to make yourself do it, you're still getting it done every day. Keep doing it every day. Even if you have to make yourself do it, you'll get there. The next thing is have a trigger. Okay. Have something that you want to do every day and then set it behind something that you're already doing. So when you wake up in the morning, for me, as soon as I get up in the morning, I make some tea and I go to the gym. That's my thing every day. Sometimes lately I've been meditating a little bit more, but what I like to do is I like to go to the gym. I like to exercise. So if I look at my life, my body, mind, and spirit, and I'm trying to keep all those things in line as much as possible, my big one is I love going to the gym. I like to get the blood flowing first thing in the morning. It activates my mind and it keeps me going strong. The longer I stay in that mode, the more productive I am. So I like to go to the gym in the morning. It's just like a trigger for me. Maybe you like to go at night, or maybe you want to go on a diet. So maybe, at lunchtime, instead of going to McDonald's for lunch, you brought something with you and then you're going to go for a walk. Okay. You have to come up with these things, but like when it's time to go do something, have it lined up, have a schedule ready. So you're not like second guessing and doing the wrong things that are going to put you back, going to set you back. You don't want to go there. Set up these triggers so you know which direction you're going. And then focus on doing that action today and forget about the results. Focus on today. This goes back to ancient wisdom. This is some Buddha stuff right here. Be present. Okay? You can't live in the past. The past is over. You're not there. Don't worry about what's coming up ahead, right? Don't focus on that. You want to lose 60 pounds. Focus on what you're doing today. If your goal is to get sober, that's why if you know about the 12-step programs, everybody always says 1 day at a time. You focus on just today. The reason is because if you tell somebody who's really struggling and hurting in their life that you can't drink for the rest of your life, forever, that's overwhelming. But what if you just can't drink today? So it's the same thing with chocolate. What if I say, you can't have chocolate for the rest of your life? Well, you're going to be like, screw you. I want chocolate. I love chocolate. I want ice cream. I want potato chips. Well, what if just right now, what if just today that you can't have that today because it's not going to get you where you want to be? But down the road, you might be able to have chocolate. Just focus on where you are today. My friend once told me years ago, stay where your feet are. You're here, stay here. Keep your mind here and your body. And you're going to get to where you want to be. And finally, the last piece of this, and this is really important, it's like enjoy the process. Find a way to enjoy what it is that you're doing. When you enjoy what you're doing, you're going to be more successful. If you make every task that you have to do to get to your habit, to get to develop this habit that's going to get you to achieve your goals, if you're miserable about all those little things, you're not going to be successful. Find a way to enjoy the ride. Find a way to be more peaceful at what it is that you want to do. Find a way to make it fun. When you make it fun, you're going to want to do it more. It won't be a struggle when it comes time to, cut a few calories out or get out of your car and go talk to people or change the way that you're communicating in your relationship. It's like, find a way to make it fun, enjoyable. I mean, whatever that is, I can't tell you what that is. We all like different things. But if you can find a way to enjoy what you're doing, you're going to enjoy it more and you're going to get the results that you're after. And just never miss too many days in a row. We all screw up. Maybe we're on track and we're, heading towards the weight loss that we want to achieve. And then we slip. Or we go to a party and there's cheesecake there, or there's the chocolate bars, or the ice cream, or the lasagna, whatever it is. My doctor even told me, I'm a healthy guy, but he even told me, he said, if you're going to blow it, just blow it and then get back on it the next day. Just be like, oh, well, no big deal. Don't beat yourself up for it. You're going to be your own worst enemy. Put it in the past and get back to it. Get to where you want to be and stay there. That's how you form new habits. Consistency. So those are my tips on forming new habits. I hope you got something out of that. Let me know what you think. Have a great day.